Abu.
Okay. When I hear that name, you have no doubt that there's some thief blood there.
Of course.
Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so welcome to the show, and maybe I'll start with you to now tell us about yourself and a little bit about the project, about what's happening in your community. Tell us the community, tell us what's happening in the community.
All right, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
My name is Tenenge Caleb Abu, and I am a programs analyst at ACE Strategy and Consults Limited.
Okay.
And I'm also passionate about SDGs,
Right.
especially SDG 3, which is good health and well-being, and then of course SDG 13, which is climate action. And I live in POE, which is close to a later community.
Right.
And we looked around the community and we saw that there was a lot of litter around the place. The environment was not hygienic enough. And then this program came up, and then I joined. And the aim of this program was to clean up the environment and then take actionable steps towards ensuring a clean and a sustainable future. That is taking actions for the climate. So the exercise we did community engagement. We engaged the community members and we carried out cleanup exercises to clean up the environment, and we repurposed PET bottles to create climate resilient toilets, using them as eco bricks. We fill them with sand and then we use it to build toilets, and that helped us to curb open defecation, right? And then we also
right now?
in a later community.
In Aleta?
Yes, a
All
later
right.
community.
Okay, because when you said that you live in POE close to Aleta, but the focus
The
right
community
now
is
on
Aleta,
Aleta.
yes.
All right then.
Yes.
Now, madam, how did you first hear about this project?
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to tell you my name again, Sarah to Jeremiah Cheda Zakwe.
Zakwe?
Yes.
Right.
We came to hear about this project when they came to our village.
Talking about Aleta, right?
Yes, sir.
Right.
And they met our Hakimi,
Right.
the name of Ibrahim Agajatna,
Yeah.
the Hakimi of our village, Aleta community.
Right.
So I was called upon as a woman leader to attend to the visitors. So we agree that they are going to build the toilet in our primary school for pupils so that they can get enough of the toilets to be using in the school. So we agree on that. Then we are able to
By this time, you people identified that there are challenges with disposal of waste and all that in your
there are
community.
challenges, but not so much.
Okay.
It's minimal.
All right.
So, but when they came with this program, we welcome it because nothing is bad when somebody comes to help you.
Yeah.
So we are happy that coming, and then we started the project. So we were able to, I was able as a women leader, I was able to talk to the women, because in the community we have about 8 associations.
Right.
So I have to communicate to them. After communication, women adhered to it. So we are able to contribute our quota as by picking up or collecting the waste empty rubber bottles, plastic bottles, to complement what these people has come to do. So we're able to do that, and we gather it for them.
All right.
And
That's
we're
how
happy
you.
about it.
That's how you became a part of the project.
Yes.
Now, let me ask you. Should I call you Caleb or Tenenge?
Yes, Caleb is fine.
Right, but what's the proper pronunciation of the other one?
Tenenge.
Tenenge. Yes. All right. Okay. So, Tenenge, I like to know. Would you say, because we don't have so much time, we'll still do whatever time we were supposed to do originally, even though we lost so much time. But I'm saying we need to run through. There's a whole lot of issues to talk about. So, now, would you say that this is something that the entire community has bought into?
Yes, absolutely. So
the people are well mobilized towards
yes,
it. Right?
They are. In fact, as she mentioned, when we started actually, and we told them that we are going to actually repurpose plastic bottles, right? As you know, with people, there was that issue of doubt, skepticism, saying that how is that realistic?
Yeah.
So, but then when we started doing it, we actually filled the plastic bottles and built the toilet, which is actually built currently, and it's very fantastic. When they saw it, they themselves began to bring these bottles themselves because they saw firsthand how local interventions can actually make huge transformations. So they themselves begin to bring these plastic bottles, they key into the cleanup exercise and the tree planting exercise. So they are well involved. So it became a thing of ownership. They took ownership.
Yeah, they took ownership,
yeah,
right.
so it wasn't just, they are not just the beneficiaries now, but they are actually the co-creators of the interventions we brought. NG Youth SDGs brought to them.
Right. Okay. Now, part of what has been done is the cleanup of the society, of the village or town, whatever you want to call the place, and also you have also had tree planting exercises. Now, how successful has this been, madam?
Very successful, because the day we came for tree planting, we were invited, and even the villagers, the school pupils were inclusive, and then the trees were planted, and the trees are there in the primary school.
And they are helping to stave off
because
unnecessary erosion and all that, is it?
Since they have not grown,
okay,
they are
not
on the
yet.
process of growing.
Yeah,
yeah, and I will know that as time goes on, it will be like that.
Okay, what kind of trees?
There was tangerine.
Different, yeah.
Okay, so not only that it will help the environment, you can also pluck and
benefit.
All right.
Yes.
So it's multi-purpose, right?
Of course, yes.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, so now in the first instance, what groups are facilitated this?
Okay, so there are different partners that facilitated it. NG Youth SDGs. That is on the side of the youths, and then of course we have UN UNICEF as well. We have we have ICCD, and then we also have IOMA. We also have Generation Unlimited. It was a combination of a lot of groups coming together to make sure that they put hands together to actually fight climate action.
Okay, and there was the capacity building aspect. Did you attend the capacity building?
Yes, I did.
What about you, madam? You attended? Not really.
So the capacity building was for the youth volunteers, actually. Okay, that was on the side of the NG Youth SDGs. So I attended. In fact, that was the places where we started learning about some of the things to do, like community entry, community engagement, project management. So that was the essence of the capacity building.
Okay. Now, so that was the essence of the capacity building.
Yes.
Will you talk about that again? I didn't quite get that.
Okay. So the capacity building was meant to equip us with the necessary skills that we needed, such as community entry, right? How to properly go into a community to actually initiate a project or an intervention, and as well, apart from that, how to engage key stakeholders. So community engagement, right, was very also key, very necessary. And then apart from that, there was a bit about project management, how to manage a project from the beginning to the end to make impact. So thank you.
All right. Okay. Now, do you think that this is something that is sustainable? Do you think that beyond now, this is sustainable? Huh?
Yes.
I'm asking Caleb.
Yes, this is very sustainable. Now, the reason why I say this is because we have set up EHCs, which is Environment Health Clubs, right, in the communities, where young people are actually learning about the steps they need to take to ensure a clean environment. And also we engage the communities who are actually taking ownership of this project to maintain the climate resilient toilet we built, we co-created with them, and also to continue to look for ways to actually continue taking necessary actions to clean up the communities by carrying out regular cleanup exercises, and of course maintaining the toilets we have, and then tree planting exercise, and even some other interventions that may arise in the future. So we want to get as many young people involved as possible. That is why we have the EHC, which is Environment Health Clubs, which are set up in the school for young people to actually get involved, learn how they can take actions towards clean sanitation and climate action.
Ever since this started, Madam, can you say that there is noticeable change in the attitude of the people towards the environment?
Yes, very well, especially the toilet.
All right.
Because they are surprised, even me myself. That is the first time I'm seeing it. I've never seen people use it.
Bottles, right?
Yes. So people are very happy, and we, the community, we are happy for seeing this new thing in our village.
That has made life better?
Yes, yes,
Cleaner air?
Yes.
Right. Okay, so do we have cases of, is there a problem of flooding in Aleta?
Okay, is it me?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We have a challenge, like an erosion part.
Okay.
If there should be a drainage there, it will help the community.
Okay.
Yes.
But that's part of why they are putting those trees in place, so that it can stem the flow of deluge of water, is it? Tenenge.
Yes. So that is why we also did the community cleanup, right, to clear the waterways. To actually help, yeah, so that the one that is there will actually be functional, okay, right, so that the water can actually flow, yes, yeah, to curb erosion. So that was part of the cleanup exercise, the objective.
And you have noticed any appreciable change in the attitude of the people?
Yes, I have. For one, the people actually came out during the exercises to actually bring their waste, and we actually kind of like sensitize them on the importance of recycling their waste properly, and going forward we'll continue to do that, and they themselves firsthand learn the value of recycling their waste properly, since if they do not, it will clog the waterways and then cause other environmental challenges, right? So, and then regularly we show them how they can properly recycle their waste, and they were happy to learn that, and they were committed to doing it, continue doing it.
Now, beyond Aleta, is there a plan to expand this this intervention, or the advocacy and the intervention? Is there a plan to extend it beyond Aleta to any other place?
Absolutely, absolutely. So Aleta was just a pilot.
Was just a pilot?
Yes, and to see the changes it will make, the transformation, the impact, right? And then of course there are plans in place already to extend this across the entire country, because we know that it's not one person's responsibility. It's you and I. You and I will have to do it, right? We have to put our hands together to take the necessary actions to ensure clean environment and sustainable climate.
All right, now let me ask you. Now, trees have been planted, and I think I should ask Madame this question, because they are the ones closer to children, closer to the, so trees have been planted.
Yes.
What guarantees do we have that these trees will not be harmed, that these trees will be maintained so that the purpose for planting them are achieved? Is there anything in place? Is there maybe a connection between the women and the Hakimi, like the Hakimi you talked about? Is there something, is there some information going around to say, look, these things, this is the reason they are put here and all that, so that you can get their buy-in, and like you said, the ownership, so that the ownership can truly be sustainable. Is there anything?
Yes, there's an awareness of those the tree plantings, that anywhere they see that the trees are planted, they should not disturb the trees. Mm-hmm. They should take care of the trees, mm-hmm, because, and if they don't take care of the trees will die.
Exactly.
And thank God that nowadays animals are not going around like gout or whatever, because they can easily spoil them.
Yeah.
But because we have been aware and told about the trees, and the children themselves, the primary school children, they know about the trees, and they will tell the story. That anybody that plays with the trees, it will spoil and it will die. And when they die, the objective of this thing will be defeated.
Will be lost. Correct. So let me also find out. So can you say that you have benefited directly as a family, your family?
Not per my family, but you see, in the school, every child is a part of the family,
yes,
the part of the community. So, for me to say only my biological children, no, it's not like that. But every child that is enjoying it, they are all our family,
right.
Provided they are community children.
Right, that's correct. You want to weigh in on that? Okay, you don't even live in Piwoy, and you don't even live in Alita. Yeah, but you can see clearly what's happening in the place. So,
yes.
What's your take on that?
And so, like she said, right? So it's when the environment does not only even benefit just the children, but it benefits the entire community. Yes. So that is it.
All right. We have very few more minutes to go, and when you were mentioning some of the other partners, you said there's also Ruwasa, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Ruwasa is also part of this project, and we can only. So, what do you have to say to the partners who have made this possible?
Well,
and I'd like both of you to take that. Yes. Yes.
All right. So I would really like to appreciate them for giving us the necessary support and a platform to actually take necessary actions to ensure a cleaner environment, a healthier environment, and a more sustainable future for our community later. And of course, we know that these actions that we took are a ripple effect, and that it will go across. It will impact not just a later community, but of course it will impact the entire nation. So yeah, I want to really appreciate them for that.
Yes.
There's something I'm so grateful for them. First of all, for choosing my village as the pilot village. And so I'm grateful for them, UNICEF, RWASA, and SDGs, that what they have done in our community, we are thanking them. And I'm saying that they should not be tired. They should extend to other villages, and God will give them the strength to do it.
All right, God will give them the strength to do it. Now, as we begin to round up, she said something that she's happy that her place was made a pilot place. Is there any criteria for choosing any place? Is there something that made Alita special, that made them catch the attention of these partners? Is there something? So that maybe some other communities watching can also
All right. So yeah, some of the criteria we were looking at was, okay, we are looking at communities where we have issues of environmental challenges, right?
It's everywhere, isn't it?
Yes, it's actually everywhere. Yes. But I mean, sometimes you have to look at it and say, okay, where can we start? We need somewhere to start, right? And then we look at it and say, okay, why don't we start here, since they have these? And then one of the things also that actually made them a pilot location was the primary school. So the children didn't have any toilet in the earlier primary school that is in our later community. And that was a big challenge, because they were then defecating in the open. And as we know, open defecation results into a lot of unhealthy things, like it causes illnesses such as diarrhea and the likes. So they say, okay, we'll launch this here to help curb open defecation, and of course we'll also clean up the environment as well, and then plant trees for the primary school. And that was also to inspire the young children as well, being that it was a primary school, right, to actually make them start thinking clean, start thinking green actually, and start thinking of how they can actually contribute meaningfully to their environment. So that is it.
Now, has this project in any way helped you to grow personally, like in confidence, in skills, in management, interpersonal skills, whatever?
Yes, it has.
Tell us about it.
So the project has actually helped me to, in terms of communication, right, and in terms of stakeholder engagement, right. It was we engaged the community leaders, as you rightly said, and we also had to mobilize other youths to actually come join us, right. So it also helped me to advocate for the goal where the cause we're fighting for. Right. So these were some of the skills that I learned from that: communication, stakeholder engagement, youth mobilization. Yes. So these keys are actually very great skills. So it has helped me grow. And of course, it also showed me just how much little actions can actually transform into something great if they are sustained.
Honestly, I must admit that your communication skill is wonderful. Talking about your diction and all that, I must compliment you.
Thank you.
And I do not know whether this is part of the impact from the madam. That speaks for you too. Now, talking about, you mentioned something about the health, environmental health club or something.
Yes.
Is that, did I get that?
Yes.
Environmental health club.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do you see the club being sustained and continue to be impactful?
Of course, I see it being sustained and maybe even scaled up, because
really?
Yes, because you see.
What does the club do? Tell us.
So basically, it help educate the young ones, right? In primary schools, it's for the students, the pupils, right, to help educate them about climate action, about the SDG goals, about sustainability, about taking care of the environment and all that, and then what little actions they can take to actually contribute. Yes, that can make a difference. Contribute to ensuring a sustainable future.
Madam, are you a member of the club?
I am not, but I am a member of women associations, because this thing has given us the spirit of teamwork.
Yeah.
The moment I took this message today, they did not hesitate to answer the call. So it has taught us a teamwork. And about the skills, I am very sure that most of the pupils have learned about this kind of toilet building. I'm very sure that maybe in 100 of pupils, there may be 50 that will take interest in this type of skill.
Right.
Because when they were doing it, they were not using machines.
They use their hands.
Yes.
So they were
you don't need to say that I don't have money to buy a machine, no money to buy this, no money to buy this. It's just sand and bottles. You always have to fill them and then do the needful.
All right. Okay, so so part of what it has taught you people also is the ability to improvise.
Yes.
Exactly.
So even if you don't have the best of opportunities, in the same space where you are, you can source for solutions from within, from what you've got. You can make the most of what you have.
Yes.
You can make the best of your situation, no matter how bad.
Yes.
I think that's a message that must be stridently put out there, even in that place and everywhere that this will eventually go.
Yes.
And let me also find out, so is there, to join the club, is there an age range? Is there, what are the criteria for membership?
I think one of the criteria for membership actually is for children of school age.
Okay.
Right? It's once you are able to think, to understand basic English and to understand basic concepts, actually, you would be eligible, because we know that.
So we are looking at primary school children and members, right?
We're looking at primary school children, yes. We want to catch
Are they the
young.
real target, or
We want to catch
something?
them young.
Oh, okay.
Because we know that we say that the children are the futures of tomorrow. They are the leaders of the future, right?
Right.
But we know that they need to start taking their actions now. They need to start learning about it now, and then so that when tomorrow finally comes, they are actually leading with purpose. They are actually leading with intention. they know exactly what to do and they are doing it, in fact. So it becomes a part of them, right? The scripture says, train up a child the way he will go, and when he grows up,
preach it, Pastor.
he will not, he will not depart from it.
All right. So, you had the opportunity to also showcase your pastoring skills. You need to pay for that, you know. All right. So, I will be rounding up by saying, give a final shot, both of you. What message would you be passing to your people back home and to other communities to inspire them to toe the path that Alita has already followed?
So for me, I would say, start small, start local, stay consistent.
Start small,
start local, stay consistent. You don't need advance.
Three stays. Right?
Yes.
Stay, start and then 2 stays.
No, 2 starts and 1 stay.
Okay, right.
Start small, start local, stay consistent. And why I say this is because you don't need advanced technology and you don't need to wait for that. You can do with what you have right where you are. And that was why we actually demonstrated. That was what we demonstrated, right?
So use what you have to get what you want. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, as a counselor, in where I am, I will be able to talk to my women, to counsel them. You know, children learn by imitation. When they go back home, they would like to imitate what they have seen in the school. You see them feeling sound and building something. Maybe mom will say, what is it? Don't get to my house. This is our way. Don't do this and that. No. Don't tell them that, because they have seen it somewhere and they want to put into use, even as this age of theirs. Because some of them, maybe they are age 9, 10, 11, and they want to learn something they have seen in the school, and they want to learn it at home. And the moment you say, no, don't get in my house, I will be able to counsel them. Even as I go about counseling the associations in the village, I'll be able to say, okay, whenever I see children doing this type of thing, don't discourage them.
All right.
Instead, encourage them.
So encourage your children to practice what they have learned in school about climate change, about how to tackle sanitation challenges around you. They've learned it, they want to practice it. All that is expected of you is to give them the nudge to go ahead and maybe just give them some guidance so they don't hurt themselves in the process of cutting things or whatever, or getting whatever materials. That's it. Don't dissuade them. Don't discourage them. That's the message from Saratu Jeremiah Chemba Zakwe. I got it.
Cheba. Yes, sir.
So I didn't get the Cheba. Yeah, that's what you're saying now.
Cheba.
When you should be clapping for me. And that's the message from her and the message from Tenenge, right?
Yes.
Caleb Abul. I did well now.
You did well, so I'm clapping for you.
All right, that will be it on this segment of the Polity. And I do hope that this message really scores well with you, because we have these issues all around us. There's flooding, there are clogged drainages, there are overflowing sewages, there are, name it. I mean, you see heaps of rubbish in some places and all that. So we need to begin to take action. We need to be intentional. That's what they're saying. We need to be intentional. And being intentional does not mean starting big and asking for millions or billions of naira or whatever or equipment. It says you can start small, start local, stay consistent.
Yes.
And Mama says, don't dissuade, don't discourage your children from expanding the frontiers of their knowledge based on what they have learned in school. That will be it from us on this segment. Thank you so very much for coming.
Thank you.
And dear viewers, thank you for watching Captain TV. We give it to you all the time. We take care of every issue and tell your neighbors this is where it's happening. And that will be it for this segment. We will be looking at the resignation yesterday of Governor Douye Diri of Bayelsa State from his party, the People's Democratic Party, and what that means for the opposition and what it means for the party. Within a few minutes from now, we just want to quickly take a look, and I have my guest here. His name is Ben Agunloye. He's been a regular face up until some time, and when he abandoned us and went on OWL. Welcome, Ben.
Good afternoon. Nice to be back.
All right. So, you know that it's a very serious offense when you go on AWOL. You are familiar with the military system. Okay, so, well, welcome. Now, so yesterday, rumors had preceded the news that the governor of Bayelsa State was about to jump ship, and then yesterday it was confirmed. For now, he says resignation. He did not say that he had defected to a particular party, but I mean, we all know what the game is. So, but we cannot we can't jump the gun. But whatever it is, what does this mean for the opposition? What does this mean for the party? Because that means -1 of governors from within the PDP fold. Let's hear you.
Yeah, my take will be straightforward. If you don't own a car and the car is malfunctioning on an important journey, it will not be a crime to leave that car and look for an alternative vehicle to continue.
What if you're a co-owner? Like they are huge stakeholders in the party. So
governors are stakeholders, but they are not owners.
In that case, is there anyone who owns any party?
In 2022, for instance,
yes,
the governors, particularly from the south, were resolute on the presidential ticket must be in the south.
Yes.
The party did not abide, and at that time they had majority, almost the whole of south, but one, in fact the entire south,
yes.
But one, because of Cross River had moved from PDP to APC. So they had 5 in the south, they have 3 or so in the southeast, and I think there are 2 or so in the southwest. So to a large extent they had almost like what you would call a dominance, and they made a demand, and the demand was not heeded. So you really can't, then bearing in mind at the time also that Wike was the governor of Rivers and had been the one pulling the party together from 2015 to that 2022. So you could call him a bigger stakeholder because he has been there from the beginning.
From when you make 2015 the beginning.
No,
you're talking about
from the beginning
of the
he's been there, whether as chief of staff or as whatever, he's always been in the party, playing one role or the other. But for some of the people we have now, majority of them, even the Iroko in Oyo, contested for governor the first time as a member of Accord. It was Accord party that contested with the now Olubadan. Now Olubadan left PDP, boosted Accord in Ibadan, and majority of them joined him, and it was on that platform that he first stood for governor. So we can't really say he has a long history with the PDP. So if people who had longer history couldn't twist the party to give them what they want, I think that those that are relatively new should not begin to see themselves as owners of the party.
Let me ask you
they
quickly.
are stakeholders, but they are not owners.
All right, let me ask you quickly. Does long history also translate to loyalty? Or can we have people who newly joined a company, for example, who are recently recruited staff? Can their loyalty be greater than those who started even with the company? Is it possible? Or is it impossible?
When we look at loyalty and commitment, they are 2 different things. You could be loyal at the realm of now trying to build a reputation, but for somebody who has been committed for a longer time, the chances are that he has more to lose by leaving. I've worked for a company for 10 years. I left them 14 years ago, but up till now there are people who still think that I belong to them, and when they have questions to ask, they still want to ask me. Right? So there is that backlog. If you have been there for long, the chances are that you are more a reference point. Your life and a number of things around you had already been built in it. Even when you announce you are leaving, people will still Some people hear you,
associate you,
but they still associate you partially with where you've been. So what we're saying in essence is, for the current governors, for instance, to a large extent, the party is having issues at the center.
Yes.
Now, I would always repeat this, that in my opinion, PDP is an establishment party. So not being at this government at the center for 10 years has really done a lot of damage to the style and the structure and the functioning of the party. And so the governor can actually see that, why do I need to use my state resources to run a party that is not at the center to add any value in the immediate to my state?
Now, okay, now maybe that brings us to now what strong reasons does a second-term governor, who's not by the constitution, has nothing really at stake about maybe re-election or whatever, what is the compelling reason for him to make this move?
Well, he's possibly looking at the future of his supporters. Now, let's know that for party-related errors, APC couldn't present any candidate in Bayelsa in Rivers in 2019.
In Bayelsa?
No, in Rivers,
okay,
in 2019.
Okay, yes.
And for the same internal wrongdoing, all the candidates that won election on their platform in Zamfara were thrown out and the victory given to the opposition party. So if we cannot learn from very long history, we could at least learn from those short history of, if things are wrong at the level of the party, your candidacy and your running can be jeopardized. So to a large extent, even if he's no longer running election, he's got his deputy, he's got some people who are loyal to him within the party who will want to do something going forward. Now, the governors forum where he belongs, majority of them have said Anyanwu is not the party secretary over and over again. But who signed the form that the candidate in Anambra is going to use to contest the next election, the governorship election? Anyanwu had to sign. So it means that the crisis in the party is real. Because on one part you are meeting to say he is not your secretary. On the other part, you needed to sign a form that you will give to INEC. You have to let him sign.
Well, if the difference has been resolved, this is the basis on which he now signed. That should be gone. Even
after signing, that doesn't mean the difference has been resolved, because the issues continue. It was just more of, for now, we know you are the one who should sign. So please sign for us in the broad interest of the party. It's not like we have accepted you should return to office, or if you call meeting, all of us will attend. So their problems and their crises have not been resolved.
Well, is it not correct that what's written is of greater effect than what's spoken?
Yes, what is written is evidence, right? And because they needed to present the evidence, is written. But in the actual fact, if he calls a meeting, right, will they all attend? The answer is no. And if the governor does not attend, can he replace them? The answer is also what? Is no. He can sanction them. They can sanction him, but he has legal tools he is holding to, why he cannot be completely thrown out. Now we are not sure of what date their national convention is holding. And until the party is able to hold a convention witnessed by INEC and put a proper executive in place, I think that the party is more like a sinking ship.
All right.
And if you don't have anything tying you down in the ship, you want to at least step aside and wash.
Okay, you have said that the governor is probably leaving because of his concern for his supporters.
Yes.
But you and I know that politicians in Nigeria are not that altruistic in their disposition. So, are you not considering the possibility that he's doing this for his personal reasons, apparently maybe because he wants to contest as senator, or he wants to find relevance in the future in the new party, which he thinks that will not be available if he remains in the PDP?
Yeah, if he remains in the PDP, I think that it's relevant. There is no doubt about that. If he moves to a new party that is smaller, at least within the state, he could also have the control and the powers that he wants. Now, we also need to know that, yes, there could be personal consideration, but the bigger reality, like I would say, even when you say you want your supporters festered, you want them promoted, you want them in place, it's still selfish to an extent. Because,
so no, but that's a lot more people-centered.
Well, you think it as people-centered. If his supporters are not the people of the people, right? It's going to still be that is somehow it is us versus them. That's the way it will remain. But if he's moving because of that, is because of his people. His people is not necessarily the entire people of Bayelsa. Although the only difference is Bayelsa, almost like Ekiti, are two unique states in Nigeria where everybody is almost the same language and the same tribe, so to say.
Right. They are mainly Ijaws.
So they are mainly Ijaws, and maybe almost all of them hold some form of allegiance to Nimbe in one way or the other. So it's more like it's the same of the same. But even apart from that, within that same, we know that there is Timibamba. We know there is Timibamba. We know there is Silva. We know all of them. So whether you call it Timiyekere or Timibamba, the two Timis are there. The former governor is there, no doubt about that. The former president is there in Bayelsa. The serving senators are there. And so, to a large extent, there are influence here and there. And it is not a crime if you want to protect your own space. To say that, no, I am a man of my own and I needed to have my stake. I needed to have my speech. I needed to, so, and that's why he's not immediately saying I am running into the APC, because the APC, of course, have the Silva and co, who are already there, who he might not be able to muzzle out, except they invite him.
What does this do to the party? What does it do to the opposition?
What it does to the party is straightforward, and that is that the party need to sit up, otherwise the house will continue, the leaking house will begin to crumble. Right now, I think that is still leaking because some of the pillars are still there. The pillars, of course, for me, for the party, now, as we speak will possibly be the likes of Rivers, the likes of Oyo, the likes of Bauchi. I think those, the likes of Adama, you could call them the pillars of the party. The pillars are still in place, but the roof is leaking everywhere. And if nothing is done to correct it as soon as possible, the pillar will soak enough water and will begin to sink. So they need to take immediate action at the level of, call their national convention.
So are you saying
resolve the issue at the center?
Redeemable even now?
The party is redeemable. That I can say anytime. The truth is today, in Ondo State, PDP is like dead. But I still know there are people in the state whose heart and soul are in PDP. So it means that if the party is ready to reorganize and galvanize itself, those who are for them will still come out and embrace them. But if they do nothing in time, then those ones may eventually find new allegiance, or some of them might even become completely apolitical.
Now, is there something they can do to even be relevant at all in 2027 at the center?
No, definitely. The first thing is they are heading for a convention. Leave all the side work and the side talk away. Thank God some people who have dissenting voices are moving away. With those that are remaining who are not dissenting, organize your world congresses, organize your local congresses without rancor, organize your state congresses without rancor, come to the national election, let INEC be there, put in the national ESCO, and then you have a structure in place. Whether the governor is there in some states or not, the party can function without the governor. But what the party also need to do urgently is to focus on resolving its internal crisis rather than chasing the shadow. I would expect the state to the party to reorganize in a place like Edo, but rather than reorganizing, they are pursuing the comment of the sitting governor. No, the governor is there. He has the money. He can do whatever he like, and if he is able to do project and gather the people, then their problem increases. Sit down at your ward level, bring back your members that are still your members, and then let them stay. Because in that state, for instance, as an individual, I think that the sitting governor has done the worst damage to PDP. He is the first non-PDP member to win a senatorial election in Edo Central. I'm sure you know that. Edo Central had always been PDP from 99 right. Until Monday Okpebolo came.
Yeah, Edo Central, yeah.
And then APC gave him the ticket against all odds. And then he got the senatorial district of Edo Central for APC. So it tells you that, look, this guy has heavy punches for you. So rather than trading words with him, go to the grassroots and build. And then come 2027, you can challenge in the House of Assembly, you can challenge in the House of Rep, you can challenge back and possibly see if you can take back your Edo Central from him. But I don't see them doing that right now. Rather, I see them as being very superficial and chasing the shadow. Coastal Road for me is not PDP business right now. Your business should be building your party.
No, but is it not part of the opposition work to tackle
what I'm saying is
as wrong?
They do actually not have the structure on ground to, at the moment, to contend with anything. So build the structure. It's like you have a team that seems stronger than you. It's a game of football. Then you can decide to stay in your house and defend and wait on an opportunity for a counter attack. Not that they are playing tiki-taka and then you are running around with them. They will eventually wear you out and beat you 10-0.
Is attack not the best form of defense?
Attack when you are weaker than your opponent, you stay at home and defend properly and wait for sudden break to catch them on the counter. That's the truth. When the two teams are equal strength, you can be talking of attacking because you want to defend. If you are using the same number and they are better than you, they will always beat you. So you needed to come up with a tactics with which you can beat them. English on the newspaper will not give the PDP any leverage as far as the Nigerian system is concerned, because majority of the people who vote at the grassroots does not even listen to what you are writing in the newspaper. And when we come to the screen, today there are more than 50 television stations. In Abuja alone, there are more than 10 radio stations. So it means that for people to hear you, you have to be in almost all the 10 radio stations. Now that can be really, really energy dissipating. That can be very costly, as against you going to the ward level, organizing meeting, and speaking one-on-one with the people. I think that is where the party needs to go back to and build their structure from down up. And when they have the structure, then they now know that, okay, we know what we are opposing. When you talk about Coastal Road, perhaps it doesn't make any sense to somebody in Kwara if you ask.
All right, okay, now, you have said so much about the PDP. Let's talk about how does the opposition fare in this kind of situation, especially when the PDP that should be the arrowhead of opposition seems to have lost its bearing. You know, where I come from, they say that the soldier ant, if the one in front loses its way, it scatters the entire formation.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
yes, the practical reality will be: does our system actually provide for effective opposition? I really don't think that the presidential system does that well, and that's why I keep insisting that by our nature and by the people that we are more parliamentary in our lifestyle and tradition than presidential. So the moment we actually went presidential in 1979, we had already created a boundary and a limit to the opposition, because there is nothing in our law that says that an opposition party can go to a federal minister or a federal agency and say, we want your status report.
Don't we have Freedom of Information Bill?
Act. FOI is not the same. The Freedom of Information Act is not the same as you being a shadow minister in the cabinet, instructing the permanent secretary gives you a copy of whatever is given the substantive minister. And so the two of you are reviewing the same document.
And that's official. It's not.
And that's official. So it's not that you are doing it back door. If I am going to request by Freedom of Information Act, bill, act, on that law, it means I will have to prove that I am being. That means you have already given it to the minister. The minister has done whatever he wants to do. You cannot ask me for what has not been made official under that act. If there is an investigation that is going on, you cannot under that act ask for an interim report. Right?
Well, by all standards, an interim report is not yet a report. It's
fine.
For the consumption of the internal.
Fine. So it means that until it has been gazetted, right? Until it has been gazetted and properly
filed. Under the parliamentary system, that same interim report would have been given.
Will be available to the opposition. Whatever you are doing, they are in the picture. So they have a day-to-day information on the running of government, and so they can make their contribution even before you take your final decision.
Is their contribution binding on the government?
Their contribution may not be binding on the government, but it would have been available before the final decision is taken. And so when you take the final decision and it begins to boomerang, they can now capitalize on that to build for the next election, to say that you can see that these people lack the right ideas to take you to where you should be.
So what makes that impossible in a democracy?
In the presidential system, winners take all. We've seen even when the Democrats have majority against Trump the last time. The truth will always be that they will say no, he will return it, they will go forward and backward. At some point, they would have to negotiate. But when it comes to certain appointments and certain decisions, the president will still take it. Now, the US is slightly different from us because to a large extent, they have built their system over time. So their system has been built. And at every point in time, you know who to question. It is not that something goes wrong and we must always blame only the president. When guns were fired in campaign rally to Trump, nobody was shouting for calling for bidding head. Nobody was calling for the head of the Minister of Defense or Secretary of Defense. They simply went for the Secret Service. It's your job, it's your failure. And she what? Quietly resigned. Was it not? If it were our own system, it is the president that everybody will blame. And then you will leave him to possibly talk about the defense minister. And by the time we go around that, the election will even have taken our focus away and we will forget the matter completely. So they have a system that is already built. So to an extent, when the president takes decision, some challenges, some roadblocks can come in some places. But we really have not built a lot of our system yet. They are still dependent and around individuals.
What lessons are there to learn from how the PDP has unraveled in the last 2 years? Because I have argued severally, I don't know whether you have been part of that, I think you are too, and some other of my guests, that look, where there's no discipline, things will deteriorate, and at a certain point you will have no control over what happens. And this is what has really happened in the PDP. I don't know, but I'm saying, if the appropriate action had been taken concerning the challenges in the party much earlier, there's a tendency, there's a possibility that the cancer would not have spread this bad, and that it wouldn't have had to be in this fiasco.
Well, my take on the party, like I would always say, is an establishment party.
No.
Taking after the order. No, hold on. Taking after the order of the NPN. Yes.
Is it not possible that if Atiku, because there are people who say Atiku was the real problem, you have also talked about how the southern governors, which aligns with people who say Atiku was a major part of the problem. You have said that the southern governors insisted that they wanted the ticket in the south, and the party ignored that advice or the call. And there are also people who say Wike has also been a troubler of the party, even though he was the builder of the party, the sustainer of the party from 2015 that you identified to around 2022. Yeah, so now, but if they had been taken out in late 2023, for example, in late 2023, when this problem had kept rearing its ugly head, don't you think that the party would have survived, would have not had to go down this spiral like this?
Well, where I was going is simple. Because it's an establishment, there are things you don't do. There are structures you want to maintain. There are benefits you think are there. And so you don't just want to walk away from those benefits, and you don't want to puncture or distort them. So carefully put, could PDP have thrown away an article in 2022 or 2023? The answer would ordinarily have been a no. It would have been a great gamble. He has the resources and whatever is required at the time. He has the resources.
The resources were not being made available to the party between 2015 and 2022, and the party survived because there was another benefactor.
Yes.
Good. So why would you not now be able to say, well, in the first instance, you have not been loyal to us, you have been here and there, so please find your level. And then when Wike also became a turbulence, a storm, a problem in the party, my brother, you have done well, but you would need to go rest now. I'm sure that the party would have been saved from this catastrophe.
And that's what I'm saying, that by the building of the party, their structure does not permit these things that we are saying. It's not built on individual forces that came together. No. It is that there is a common national front, and there was a national agenda that seems to be popular with the people, that they leverage on. It was the G48 or G49 or whatever we call them. They were fighting for democracy, restatement of June 12 and stuff like that. That was what brought them together.
Yeah,
it was a national agenda. It was a national agenda that you could key into to lend your voice. Fine. But as soon as, of course, they got into government, now it changed from pro-democracy to governance. And the new driving force became the federal government and federal appointment and federal money. Now by 2015, that door seems closed. Those who have the resources in their silos felt, okay, let's conserve what we have, because we don't know when the opportunity to be back in the center will come. And so most people were laid back as to funding the structures of the party and running it. And a lot who felt what they have cannot sustain them jumped ship and moved into the APC. and by 2018 some of them jumped back. So the clarity is that by the nature of the party and the people who form it, their orientation, okay, their orientation and their pattern of running things differs from what you would see in a regular conservative or a regular left-wing people. So it's more of people who are in the center. They are neither left nor right. And that makes it difficult.
So that's something from the IBP days of a little bit to the right, to the left.
That's exactly where we are.
Now, let me ask this last question because time is up. Now, what does it say of the people who have been produced? I really like something I heard Seriaka Dixon say over the radio that I heard this morning. He said, this is a party that gave us the vice president, gave us the president, gave us several other positions in this country, and he said, he finished it by saying, that's not the part I'm interested in. What I'm interested in is the fact that he recalls that PDP gave them the platform to produce among the Ijaws, among the South-South, the vice president of this country, and ultimately the president. Now, so how does it seem for an Obasanjo, for example?
Yes.
For all those people of that era, for Jonathan himself, for whatever those big names of that PDP era, how does it feel to see your party go under? It's not as if it's a new. It's not as if there has been a scuttling. You know, it's a different thing between the UPN, the National Party of Nigeria, the GNPP, and all that, the PRP of that time, because there was a military intervention. You can understand that, but this has been it's a continuous part of our history.
Yes.
There has not been such this thing, and then you suddenly find that your party that brought you to that level goes under, and they are watching it.
Well, is it actually new? Did Obasanjo not ask someone to tear his party card on national television? So that's why I told you that
when he did that, he would not have seen. He would not have thought of a situation where the party.
That's why I told you that when you look at the party carefully, it was an establishment thing. And when you are out of the establishment, or when you think the establishment can no longer give you what you should have, then you want to thin out. And so it's a lot of thinning out here and there.
If that is correct, and you tend to make a difference between the establishment party and this other party. So if you leave the place where it's an establishment party, and you think that your needs are no longer being met there, how do you intend that your needs will now be met in a place that's not an establishment party?
Well, like I said, when Mimiko left PDP in 2006, he went to Labour. And for 8 years, he became Ondo governor under Labour Party. That was where he won his re-election. So clearly, him and his supporters enjoyed the 8 years. And when the time was running on and he checked the future, he knew that, look, Labour was not the place to continue to remain. Abi? By 2015 election,
he went back to
PDP. Mm-hmm. So he has gone out when the umbrella did not cover him. He went to look for a hut to hide. When the rain that he was afraid of was getting over, he came back to find space.
Was the umbrella
under the umbrella
condition at the time?
He came back to find, of course, Jonathan was the president, so he came back, find space. At that time, even before there were the saying that they say, oh, our governor is Labour in Ondo, PDP in Abuja. And finally, he had to move back with his people to the PDP. So if Diri has said, I'm leaving PDP, he doesn't have to go to APC. He can go to ADC. We've seen Jonathan visiting ADC. There is SDP, there are other parties. It might just be that, look, this storm is coming. We needed to preserve our state and our people. At a normal time, if he decides to realign, whether back to APC or to PDP or to ADC or to whichever he can. But what he's saying is that I cannot continue to remain here.
I wish we had enough time.
I cannot continue to remain in this ship that is sinking.
The size of this segment of the Polity, and we'll need to leave it here. Thank you so much for watching, and before I forget, please do join me on Matters Horizon from 8 to 9 this evening. I'll be there and we'll be talking about some other issues. Thank you so much for staying tuned to Captain Television. Thank you, Ben, for coming.
You're welcome.
And
it's my pleasure.
Dear production team, I say thumbs up to you. It's bye for now from Dayo.